What fetish did you think you had, but turned out not to be the case after you tried it? 1. Degradation. Turns out I actually like being praised. Who would have thought? 2. Sex in front of a fireplace was always something that sounded hot to me. And it was. Way too hot. 3. My ex suggested sucking me off with ice cubes in her cheeks. Sounded pretty hot. Turned out to be very cold. 4. When I was like 21, a Redditor saw my posts Anna an SFW sub, and she started talking to me a lot because we lived in the same city. She wanted me to fuck her, but it was like a cuckold thing. I would fuck her. Her husband would watch. That was it. It was understood all he would do was watch. She was like 30. He was in his late 40s, I think. So like, to me, this guy was ancient. I thought, no problem. She's hot as hell. Headed over, met them. Drank a bit to calm down because it did start to feel a bit weird. Started plowing this dude's wife, and I could feel him looking at me even though I wasn't facing him. I could feel his gaze. LMAO. Looked over a few times and he's just chilling in the chair watching. Then he started talking, like, yeah, she likes it deep, fuck her harder, etc. I managed to stay hard, and eventually I came in her. Kinda dumb of me, but I was young. Afterwards, that post-nut clarity felt pretty bad. I'm standing there naked, with my jizz leaking out of this stranger, while her husband watches. This is the worst part. I get dressed, and the husband is like, mind if I clean her up? Pointing to my load leaking out of her. I was like, sure. Thinking he meant a towel, and he went down and started sucking my jizz out. I noped the fuck out immediately at that point. Never did something like that again. It's way too weird. 5. Always fancied seductively licking Nutella of my wife's body, but a few minutes in one breast and I realized it was getting very messy and quite sickly. We accomplished nothing more than a quick shower and changing the sheets, chalked it down to experience and settled down to a cup of tea. We've never talked about it since. All the sexy foods have several problems. Whipped cream falls apart when it gets warm. Sex tends to heat up the bodies. Then you've got that spoiled milk smells surprisingly fast. Milk residue in a glass won't smell funky for a day. On a breast, like 5 minutes starts to turn. Chocolate gets to be too much of a good thing really fast. Honey. Honey is impossible to get at all. Everything is going to be sticky. And then with anything sugary, unless you are guzzling water between licks, you go anywhere near the vagina, that poor girl is going to have one hell of a yeast infection. 6. Thought I was into group stuff? For so long. Threesomes, foursomes, whatever. Got the opportunity and absolutely hated it. I've never felt such bitterness in my life. 7. Sexy nurse fetish. All through high school it was sexy to think about. Wife became a nurse and it turned from sexy to bedpans and Foley's. 8. I always thought that getting whipped by a sexy woman is hot. When a sexy friend of mine actually whipped me, I didn't enjoy it at all because it hurt. This was the moment when I realized that I dislike pain. My friend looked sexy as hell holding that whip though. 9. Hot candle wax. I liked how it felt on my hands. Did not like it anywhere else. They make special candles that melt at a lower temperature for this. Please tell me you didn't just grab whatever candles you had around when trying this. 10. Role play for me. I just didn't have the commitment. Once I failed her on her maths test, I just felt disappointed rather than horny. 11. Sex outside. I got cold, mud on my clothes, scraped hands and knees and was too nervous to enjoy it. My partner and I tried this recently out in the woods on a hike. But it was summertime. It was just a blowjob, but f the mosquitoes. I was swatting them for my face and I was like, they're going for your dick cause it's got all the blood. We laughed, gave up and went home to have normal sex inside like civilized people. 12. I convinced myself I was a sadist. Turns out I hate hurting people. My BF enjoys what little I can do though. 13. Food play. The pop rock blowjob was not particularly pleasurable. More like putting your dick in a salt grinder that stings you slightly and then gets sticky. One of the other ways food play often goes wrong is with portioning. People get these big ideas of I'm gonna cover them in whipped cream honey chocolate and lick them clean, only to realize too late that they've taken on a Herculean task. Whatever percent of a human body you think you could lick clean, it's way less than that. Always apply as you go. Dab a little. Eat a little. Dab some more. Eat some more. The way, when you reach your limit, you aren't leaving your partner an unhappy mess. 14. When I was a teenager, I thought maybe I wasn't a feet. Turns out I was just into any bearskin that I didn't see often at that point. 15. I thought I was into more hardcore BDSM stuff, but then I realized I am more into just doing stuff that makes people happy and like being around me. I don't like being paddled and beaten, but if someone I sleep with wants me to do that and clearly likes it, then I'm fine with it as long as I'm not doing legitimate damage to them. So I went from hardcore bottom to lightly toasted service top switch. 16. Not exactly a fetish, but I've always wanted to have sex in the sea. Tried once. Absolutely the worst experience ever. 17. Having shower sex. Thought it'd be fun, only ended up falling face first into the tub and ass up high in the air after he came when he thrusted hard when we were in doggy style position. I thought I would like it too. We were 20 and at her parents' house, with them asleep downstairs. First everything was fine. Then we slipped and fell. She tried to hold on to the shower faucet and broke it, causing a constant stream of water splashing out of the wall. Next thing I know's that I'm standing butt naked in her parents' sleeping room, waking her father up to ask where the main water tap is to turn off the water. Never again. Just thinking about it gives me severe PTSD. 18. Whenever this question is asked, I think about that guy who had his girlfriend shit on him, only to discover he really wasn't into it at all. Also, I would like to clarify, I don't mean the guy who hired a known scat porn actress who shed in his mouth, but the other guy who had persuaded his girlfriend to do a Cleveland steamer on him, only to find it awful but too embarrassed to tell her. 19. For a brief time I thought I might be submissive, then I tried it and got really pissed off at the other person being so bossy lol. Pissed off is better than pissed on. 20. Spanking. I couldn't play video games for 2 days because my ass hurt so much. 21. I thought I had a lactation fetish, but I realized I just like the look of women's faces when they feel relieved. 22. Not me, but my then girlfriend, now wife. Early in our relationship she told me she wanted to be, lightly, choked during sexy times. Not really my thing, but I tried my best. It turns out what she actually meant was that she wanted to give it a try, not that it was something she knew she was into. And she didn't tell me that it turned out she didn't like it as much as she thought. So, I kept doing it for like 6 months, all the while neither of us wanted me to be doing it. Communication. People. My girl said she wanted to try a popsicle up her ass in the act. Sure. So I did. And kept trying for a few weeks. I had to make special stops at the store to keep the freezer stocked. Turns out she was feeding them to the dog afterwards. R.I.P. Luke. You were a good boy and didn't deserve that. 23. I know a girl who really wanted a threesome with 2 dudes. She was really disappointed when her then BF ended up fucking the other dude, and she was left off. 24. Thought I was a masochist. She bit my dick. Did not enjoy it. 25. XGF told me to pull her hair. I did and she yelled at me for pulling her hair. Seemed unfair to me. This is a situation where knowing how to do it right is important. A handful of hair at the base of the neck doesn't hurt as much as give you control pull from the ends of the hair and you will pull hair out because a ton of pain. 26. Spit. In my mouth and face. My ex did it right down my throat once and I gagged. 27. Consent to no consent. Told my partner he could have sex with me while I was asleep, and when I woke up to it I was like, get your dick out of me lol. It was very startling. Wanted to wake up with my dick getting sucked. Twice. My GF said you just woke up and yelled at me to let you sleep. Fuck, I'm such an asshole. I don't remember it. Never even fully woke up to enjoy it. I'm not myself waking up. She's pointed it out by now and I recognize it. Apparently I do not want that. Thought I did. The idea is still hot. But not for me apparently. 28. Not really a fetish, but the idea of showering with my girlfriend at the time was so appealing to me. She got hot water and I got was ricocheted off of her. No part of it was enjoyable, and now we've been married 25 plus years, and she suggests it once in a while, and I'm like, nope. Every drop of hot water that comes out of the shower is mine and only mine.